like to, on behalf of the Boston Fire Department, welcome you to a historic event. This wouldn't happen if it wasn't for our mayor, who's invested time and effort to improving our public safety, especially our fire department. So I know you don't want to hear from me, so without further ado, welcome to Mayor Walsh.
Thank you very much, Brian. And I want to thank you, Brian. I want to thank Commissioner Finn. I want to thank Local 718, Bob Pediti. I want to thank all of the past and present members of Engine 42, Rescue 2, and District 9. I want to thank the whole team. Everyone involved in making this new firehouse a reality. There's been a lot of city involvement in it. The fire department, public works, the architect, the construction workers. Trish Lyons is here, who's going to be making sure her department's overseeing this. This is an exciting day in Roxbury, and it's an exciting day in the city of Boston. And it's hard to believe that what I'm about to say, this is the first new firehouse that's being built in the city of Boston in over 30 years. In some ways it's a celebration, and in other ways it's a real big problem that this hasn't happened before today. When it's complete, this project's going to be $23.5 million. We'll house 2 house companies, also a district chief. For the past few years, the fire department, along with through Joe's leadership, has been working with public facilities to study best practices for firehouse design. Many of those best practices are reflected here, and Joe's going to talk a little bit about that. You know, as a city, when you think about firefighting, 100 years ago, it was putting a burning building out. It was saving somebody's life. Today, it's changed. As a city, we want to make sure, and we're doing it here today, support the health and wellness and safety of those who do the same for us every single day. This new fire station will have some of the new, latest, and most innovative ways that we're protecting firefighters. And again, I'm going to let Joe talk about that. I want to thank Commissioner Finn and all of our firefighters for raising awareness about occupational cancer. They've been studying the effects and the other contaminants in our firehouses and the long-term effects to our firefighters. This has been raised at a national level as well. We're making changes to our equipment, design, because of the leadership here in Boston. And around the country, if you talk to other places, they're doing the same. Oftentimes, or all the time, firehouses are second home to our firefighters. So this new station will also include a new fitness center, kitchen, and other amenities to help improve the quality of life. It'll also have a training room for technical rescue companies, and will allow them to stay up to date on their training right here in the firehouses or close to home. I'm going to tell you a funny story. I was talking to Joe about the design of the firehouses, and we're going over it one day, and I was pointing something out, and I'm like, well, what's that? Well, that's the fitness room. I said, Joe, we can't have a fitness room in the firehouse. He said, we need the fitness room in the firehouse. I said, Joe, you know, the public will say the fitness room in the firehouse. It's like putting a gym in City Hall. He goes, it's a lot different. A month later, I was at the U.S. Conference of Mayors here in Boston, and they had the simulator there with the fire. And when I got there in the morning, I put on my pants, put on my jacket, put on the mask, put on the scarf, put on the helmet, put on the oxygen tank, put the oxygen tank on, turned the oxygen tank on, went into the trailer, and realized when I got out of that trailer, when everything came off, how light I felt, and thinking about a firefighter with over 70 pounds of equipment on his or her body go into a burning building. And I went into a place where I knew where I was going. I was told to stay against the wall and stay down. I remember seeing Joe, I think later that day, and I said, Joe, the fitness room is the same because of the impact that this job has on the firefighters that are here, your bodies, and the retirees that are here, the wear and tear of your bodies. And I want to thank you for your service. In addition, here, this project is going to include a piece of permanent public art outside this new building. It's funded by our new program, Percent for the Arts program, dedicated 1% of our capital borrowing to permanent public art. As all of us know, public art is a special way of bringing people together, reflecting the community that we're in and that this firehouse is going to be in. and we're going to be announcing the artist pretty soon. Engine 42 will serve as an example for improvements that we want to bring to all of our fire stations. This is the first of many groundbreakings that we're going to have in the city of Boston. Again, I want to thank our firefighters for your commitment to our city. I want to thank you for your commitment to our residents. And I want to thank you oftentimes for the sacrifice that you have to give to your family. I want to thank all the partners involved in this project for making this a reality. And I look forward to coming back here and cutting the ribbon on our first brand new firehouse that the city paid for in over 30 years.
It's my pleasure now to introduce Joseph Finn, Boston Fire Department Commissioner.
Thanks, Brian. I'd like to take a minute, point of personal privilege, and thank all the retirees who came today. We got a former captain, Joe Gilmore, is with us today. District Chief Freddie Sullivan, Senator Richie Walsh, Franny Baxter, the legend, as he lives and breathes, Dennis McNally, Paul Covington, and I hope I didn't miss anybody in the back. Matty Henriksen, and so on. I just want to say thank you for coming out, because it's truly a great day for us as the department. You know, as the mayor said, this is the first firehouse in over 30 years to be built by the city. A lot of hard work went into planning and designing this firehouse, and we tried to incorporate all those latest designs in it. But let me tell you, nothing would have got done if we didn't have the full support of the mayor. When you think about it, the mayor, in 5 years, has committed over $100 million in capital resources to the Boston Fire Department. We didn't see that type of investment in this department for 25 years prior. And so, Mayor Walsh, I want to say thank you for your commitment to the firefighters, your commitment to the health and wellness, commitment to the apparatus. When you look at the apparatus, come probably less than 2 weeks, we've taken receipt of 5 ladder trucks very shortly this week, and that will replace the entire ladder complement of the Boston Fire Department. I don't think that has ever been done in the history of an administration. And we're going to have 26 of our 33 engine companies will have been replaced come this fiscal year. So the level of commitment here from the mayor and the city has been fabulous, and we certainly owe them a debt of gratitude. I'd like to thank Emma Handy and the Chief of Administration of Finance, also Justin Sterrett, who's with us today, the Budget Director, and his team from Capital, because without that, let's be honest, you can't get it done without the money. So without them people, we certainly wouldn't have what we have going forward today. I'd also like to thank Public Facilities, Trish Lyons and her team, Scott Dupree, Evan Brinkman, Paul Donnelly, Brian McLaughlin, our architectural firm, Dora and Whittier, the team of the Boston Fire Department, Chief of Operations Jackie Walsh, Deputy Commissioner Kathleen Judge, District Chief Bobby Dowling, who spent countless hours prepping this. This is his house. He's a district chief in this house, and he's given his time to work in helping us design firehouses. Lieutenant Paul Flaherty and Joe Mayo, head of our public facilities. Joe's done a terrific job trying to keep all these firehouses running. When you think about the average age of a firehouse in the city of Boston, 76 years old. It's almost criminal when you think about it. A little history about Engine 42. It was established on February 10th, 1893, and worked right out of a firehouse right up in the corner here at 3089 Washington Street in Eggleston Square. It resided there for 59 years before moving to this current location, 1870 Columbus Ave, on December 19th, 1952. For 67 years, 8 years longer than the first location, so about 8 years behind schedule getting 42 in a new house. When 42 moved in here, they moved in here with Ladder 30, their partner up on Washington Street. Ladder 30 was originally quartered here with them. They moved in on the same day. Ladder 30 was established on March 5th, 1913, and was housed, as I've said, up at 3089 Washington Street. It moved in on that day. It was disbanded on April 10th, 1981, during Proposition 2.5. Division 3, which no longer exists, was renumbered to be Division 2 and moved from Grove Hall to Engine 42's quarters on March 31st, 1954. Division 2 moved from this house to Engine 28's new house. They muscled out District 9 for the new house. The truth be told, right, Joe? Ready? And they took over what was supposed to be District 9's quarters, and District 9 got sent here. A little internal squabble, if you will. And they relocated here on December 8, 1984. And then the same day Engine Ladder 30 was disbanded, Rescue 2 moved in on the same day. And Rescue 2 resided here until it was disbanded on January 14th, 1982, again because of Proposition 2.5. Rescue 2 was reorganized on June 6th, 1986, and quartered at this site where it currently resides. As I mentioned, we're building this new firehouse. The average age of Boston Firehouse, 76 years old. There hasn't been a new firehouse built by the city since 1984. Again, it's hard to believe the neglect that went in or was ignored to these firehouses. Our firefighters and citizens deserve a firehouse that are modern and updated to manage and meet the needs and demands of today's fire service and the global environment we now work in. One of the singular initiatives I have focused on since becoming the commissioner has been the safety, health, and wellness of our members. I don't have to tell you the numbers. It's astonishing how many firefighters have succumbed to occupational cancer in the last 30 years. All of our dear friends. Everyone can name 1 or 2, 3, a dozen. So what to look forward to here at 42 Rescue 209? Design incorporates the latest methods of protecting Boston firefighters from the carcinogenic toxins by containing the carcinogens and toxins on the apparatus bay area. There'll be a decontamination zone on the main floor. That will be the hot zone. No gear will go upstairs. No toxins will permeate beyond that main floor. They'll have its own separate and distinct heating and ventilation systems on the main floor in the transitional area, which is called the warm zone, and then the cold zone. So we're going to have 3 different mechanical systems in this building to make sure we suppress those toxins and carcinogens from ever migrating to the living space in this firehouse, which will improve health and wellness for firefighters. A significant investment, and I have to thank Mayor Walsh because that was no easy task. The apparatus bay is going to be extended. The department, as the mayor said, has changed dramatically. It's no longer just a fire service, a fire department. It's multifunctional. Our technical rescue component, which this house is crucial to, will now have the ability to store all our technical rescue equipment in this firehouse without having to spread out in different firehouses across the city, which will make them much more efficient on the response and much more efficient when they have to execute on those technical rescue incidents. The training room has been added, again, to give them the ability to do training in quarters, so we don't have to relocate to do training. And the training room will be utilized by other companies within the area. Other fire companies will also be able to utilize this training area. So in closing, as you can see, we are finally bringing our firehouses up to date with the latest in the state-of-the-art firehouse design and technology, with the overall health and wellness and safety of our members as our #1 priority. Our firefighters in the city deserve no less. All of this is made possible with the mayor and the city's support. Again, Mayor, I thank you. Your unwavering commitment over the last 5 years to improve the infrastructure of the Boston Fire Department is unprecedented. Again, just want to say thank you, and thank you to everybody who come. And for the community, I think you'd be very proud of this firehouse and the members who work here, men and women who are going to be protecting this community, which has a distinguished reputation in this Roxbury, Jamaica Plain section of the city. Thank you.
Our next speaker is actually a member of 42, Local 718 President Bobby Petiti.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. Just want to recognize Mayor Walsh for his continued support, investing in the future of the Boston Fire Department. We hadn't had investment like that in quite some time, and we really appreciate the support. Also, Commissioner Finn for his putting the cancers that we're coming down with on a regular basis, bringing that to the forefront so that we're getting the treatment and prevention that is needed. Also in the crowd today, as I said, I'm assigned to Engine 42, and before I was the president, I was the vice president of 718, and the president at the time was Richie Paris, who was also assigned to this firehouse. So to have the president and the vice president assigned to the same firehouse doesn't happen too often. This was the original house that I was assigned to over 22 years ago. There have been a lot of great firefighters that worked out of this house during my time here. Many who are no longer with us. I'd like to ask, just for a moment of silence, for the fallen members who never made it to their retirement. Dick Murphy, whose son Billy is actually a lieutenant now on Group 2 here at Engine 42. Dick Bessie, Billy McCarthy, actually the brother of City Councilor Timmy McCarthy. Billy Tobin, who was my first lieutenant here at 42 and taught me how to be a firefighter. And Justin Poitras, who was the young firefighter that died in the motorcycle accident about a year ago. Hopefully they're all together in the firehouse in the sky, drinking coffee and telling fire stories. Thank you all for coming, and I can't wait to see the finished product. Thanks.
I just want to, as Bobby's going to sit down, I didn't see him. Richie Paris is here. Where's Richie? I want to thank Richie. When I got elected mayor of the city, Richie came into me right off the bat. He had a list about 17 pages long. He talked about apparatus. He had talked about equipment. He had talking about the contract. He was talking about new firehouses. He was talking about a bunch of different items that he wanted to fix so that the men and women that he represented were taken care of. And I want to thank Richie for those meetings and those conversations, and they weren't always pleasant, but they always end up good. I want to thank Richie Paris, special shout out. I didn't see you earlier. I would have mentioned you, Richie. Thank you.
I think this is the moment we've all been waiting for. Can I have our elected officials, the mayor, the commissioner, and Bobby Petiti, take a shovel, please?
2, 3.